thanks to the Ethiopian original tongues and the formation of BRICS, it is clear to see whom the Antichrist will be aligned with. Therefore, he will be the leader of a diverse kingdom that's going to take over the world due to the fact they're going to be controlling the money. Because who controls the money controls the world. So let's watch what the Most High has to say. We humbly render our thanks to Almighty God, who having laid upon us the heavy responsibility of leading our beloved people in the path of progress and enlightenment, has spared us to witness the fruits of our labors. Haile Selassie I. So let's read what he wrote in Daniel 7:7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had a great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. Don't forget, BRICS is represented by 4 different continents. I considered the horns, and behold, there come up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by its roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Thus he said, the 4th kingdom shall be the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. Why? Because they're going to be controlling the money. Who controls the money controls the world. And shall tread it down and break it into pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue the 3 kings. In other words, he's going to humiliate them and uproot them. And it stood still upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a wild beast ascending out of the sea, with 10 horns and 7 heads, and upon his horns 10 diadems, but upon his heads blasphemous names. Now the wild beast that I saw was like a leopard, which represents India, but his feet were as those of a bear, which represents Russia, and his mouth was a lion's mouth, which represents Ethiopia. And the dragon gave the beast his power, which represents China, and the symbol on the money, and his throne and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, though slaughtered to death, but his death stroke got healed. In other words, Iraq, because Iraq hasn't joined it yet, but it's sitting at their will, just like Libya. And the whole earth followed it, the wild beast, with admiration. And they worshiped the dragon because it gave the authority to the wild beast. In other words, the money, because on the money they're going to put a dragon on it. And they worship the wild beast with the words, who is like the wild beast? Who can do battle with it? And a mouth speaking great things, and a blasphemous was given it, and authority to act 42 months was given it. In other words, 3.5 years, they're going to have the world on lock. So let's watch an excerpt out of Star Witness 72. As of today, in late 2024, Iraq and Libya, also known as PUT, have not joined the 10 countries of BRICS. But according to the Ethiopian tongues, which was written over 1,600 years ago, it said that the will. Therefore, the lion will be Ethiopia, the bear will be Russia, the dragon which they worship will be the currency, which will give power onto the beast. In other words, get ready. So let's pay attention to what's going on in this world and what those people, most of their religions over there, are acting like. Or to try to change the name of God.
The actual word is Yod He Vav He. Is the word letters. That is the name of the God they serve. So the word Elohim is generic. If you say the God, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, I worship the God. It can be a god of a tree, a god of a sea, the god of... It doesn't make sense. So Ilah and Allah in itself is a contradiction. Unless you say it is a proper name for your God. That's why I'm saying the Jews never knew any God known as Allah. Now the question...
Hello, because Allah was never born. How could you have a living God that doesn't have a birth date? He was never here. Therefore...
Okay, I'm going to ask this question. When you pray to Allah, who you pray to? When you pray to Allah, who do you pray to? Allah. How you describe him?
Because of the universe. The universe.
The what?
The universe.
So, let's move further now. If tomorrow is judgment and the world comes to an end, if Allah comes out and stand before you without saying I'm Allah, would you know it?
Yeah, we recognize it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in
How?
He will say, Ana Rabbuka.
So he will say, that means anybody can come and say, I can come to you now and say, I'm Charles. Am I
Remember,
Charles?
God himself is supposed to become king. So if Allah was never king, he was never God. Therefore, be careful where you get your information from. And from whom.
James was quite proud of his homosexual relationships. Not only was he brazenly public about them, but he also defended his relationship to George Villiers before the Parliament.
Don't get tricked with this picture. King James was a black man.
To Parliament, King James once stated the following incredibly blasphemous words, and I quote, "You may be sure that I love the Earl of Buckingham more than anyone else, and more than you who are here assembled, for Jesus Christ did the same, and therefore I cannot be blamed."
Therefore, King James was ungodly. He was against God. And his version is what these people follow.
Wait, isn't the Pope supposed to be the vicar of Christ, or the physical representation of Jesus Christ on the earth? So what does it mean that all religions lead you back to God?
Well,
because every religion is a way to arrive at God. Sort of a comparison, an example would be they're sort of like different languages in order to arrive at God.
Remember, the Vatican worship Baal. So to them, God is the devil.
Ma Dio è Dio per tutti.
But God is God for all.
Oh, he's talking about the cobblestone? Oh, he's talking about the various different idolatrous customs of Egyptology and Buddhism and Hinduism and so on and so forth?
Remember, all religions stem out of Egypt. Even the Vatican itself represents ancient Egypt, because it's just a continuation of their pagan practices, where Baal came from.
Is that what he's saying? The book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 4. There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. So wait a minute. I thought that there's only one God, one doctrine, one baptism, one Lord, one Father of all. What does it mean all religions lead you back to God? That's a blatant lie. This is what they do. Be mindful. The Catholic Church, when you read the Bible, is the false prophet in the book of Revelation. Full of lies and hypocrisy. Stay away.
Remember, it went from Egypt to Iran, also known as Persia, which Iraq is right next to. Then it went to Rome. Then it ended up in Europe and America. Same eagle with different colored feathers. But either way, God knows what's going to happen in the end. Jah God. Follow Jah, not man.
Every day is happy.